live at BSBA HRM 13N. This is GRP2 News Report.
HRM TV. Search, explore, discover. We HR will fight together. GRP2 News Report. Good day everyone. This is Miko Galendez from GRP2 News Report. My topic is all about designing effective formal training activities. Before we proceed to our main topic, let's give an overview. What is training all about? Training can increase employees' knowledge of foreign competitors and cultures, which is critical for success in foreign markets. It can also help the employees to understand how to work effectively in teams to contribute to product and service quality. It will also help the employees to prepare, to accept and work more effectively with each other, particularly with minorities and women. Now let's proceed to our main topic, which is designing effective format training activities. Training design process is a systematic approach for developing the training programs. Systematic approach means identify the most efficient optimum methods. In order to achieve that, we need a process, and that's what we call instructional system design. Instructional System Design, or ISD, is a systematic process for the assessment and development of training solutions designed specifically for the purpose of formal training delivery. It will develop an educational courses and lessons for your existing process. The most efficient model of ISD, or Instructional System Design, is ADDIE. ADDIE stands for Analysis, Design, Develop, Implement, and Evaluate. Analyze means to explore the ways things are and the things way should be. In design, it is the outline of the performance objective. Next is develop. Performance solution is work created. While in the implement, it is the delivery of the performance solution. In evaluate, it is the measurement solution achieve the objective. With the help of ISD model, namely the ADDIE model, it will help the employer to assure the development of each employee. There are 5 stages in designing effective formal training activities. Stage 1 is to assess needs to determine if training is needed. Stage 2, ensuring employees have the readiness for training and they have the motivation and basic skills to master training content. Stage 3 addresses whether the training session or the learning environment has the factors necessary for learning to occur. Stage 4 ensure that trainees apply the content of their training jobs. Stage 5 involves choosing a training method. Take note that training design process should be systematic yet flexible enough to adopt the business needs. Different steps may be completed simultaneously. Also, feedback from each stage in training progress can be useful for the other stages. For a better discussion, let's tackle it one by one. From stage 1, needs assessment, it refers to the process used to determine if training is necessary. You must point out first the reasons why are you conducting a training. After pointing those out, proceed to analyzing the context, employees who needs trainings, and their needs in trainings. Then you'll be able to see the results that must be accomplished. There are 3 analyzations in processing an assessment. First one is organizational analysis. Organizational analysis involves determining the business appropriateness of training, given the company's business strategy, its resources available for training, and support by managers and peers for training activities. There are 3 factors that may help the employers in conducting a training. First is support of managers and peers. company strategy, and training resources available. In support of managers and peers, it is the willingness to tell trainees how they can more effectively use knowledge, skills, or behaviors learned in training on the job. The availability of opportunities for the trainees to use training content in their jobs. Second is company strategy. The company must ensure first that there are enough budget for the training. Employees must receive a training that's relevant in their position, and that employees get the right amount of training. The last analysis is training resources available. In order to conduct a training, they must know first if the company is capable of doing this. Under of assessments, there is also a person analysis. In person analysis, it helps the manager identify whether the training is appropriate and which employees need training. And the third analysis is task analysis. Task analysis of the conditions include identifying equipment and the environment the employee works in, time constraints or the deadlines, safety considerations or performance standards. Stage 2. Ensuring employees' readiness for training. To evaluate whether the employees are ready for training. Readiness for training refers to employee characteristics that provides employee with their desired energy and focus necessary to learn from training. The desire of the trainee to learn the content of a training program is referred as motivation to learn. Motivation to learn influences mastery of all types of training, content, including knowledge, behavior, and skills. Managers need to ensure that employees' motivation to learn is as high as possible. This stage will help the manager to decide if they will let their employees to have a training. If they see that there's a potential, if they are motivated, then the manager should make an action to continue the training. The stage 3 in training design process is creating learning environment. Learning permanently changes behavior. To acquire knowledge and skills in the training, program and apply this information in their jobs. The training programs must include specific learning principles. Educational and industrial psychologists and instructional design specialists have identified several conditions under which employees learn best. There are four types of learning situations employees find themselves in: the new skills learner, the constant learner, the anxious learner, and the change learner. In new skill learners, these learners are usually need to and want to acquire new skills for a specific project or a job. In constant learner, they have a passion for learning and are internally motivated to improve their skills regularly with an eye on long-term career development. The anxious learner thrown into a new work environment where they aren't familiar with the tools, frameworks, or technology in front of them. The change learner usually are forced to learn due to an external change in technology or change in the organization. Stage 4 is ensuring transfer of training. Transfer of training refers to on-the-job use of knowledge, skills, and behaviors learned in training. If no learning occurs in the training program, transfer is unlikely. There are five factors in transfer of training. First is manager support. It emphasizes the importance of attending training programs. They stress their applicants of training content to the job. In order for managers to support their employees, they're making an action plan. Action plan is a document that lists what steps must be taken in order to achieve a specific goal. In action plan, they are identifying the goal, what training content will be used, and how it will be used. Strategies for reaching that goal, strategies for getting the feedback, and the expected outcome. Peer support, a support network among the trainees. face-to-face meeting or communications via email, Twitter, or other social networking tools. In peer support, they're just simply communicating and exchanging ideas and knowledge about their training. Opportunity to use learned capabilities. Training is provided with or actively seeks experience with newly knowledge, skill, and behaviors from the training program, influenced by both the work environment and training motivation. Technological support. Computer applications that can provide, as requested, skills training, information access, and expert advice. Self-management support. Trainees should set goals for using skills or behaviors on the job. Identify conditions under which they might fail to use them. Identify the positive and negative consequences of using them. In self-management support, they are the one who helps themselves. They must reflect if they're doing aren't great, and if it's not, they must change it, or else it will lead them into impediment. The last stage is selecting training methods. Selecting training methods is a number of different methods that can help employees acquire new knowledge, skills, and behaviors. There are two training methods. One is the presentation method and the other one is on-hands method. Presentation method include traditional classroom instruction, distance learning, and audiovisual training. Instructor-led classroom instruction, simply a classroom setup where the students are the trainees and the trainer are the teachers. In many cases, the lecture is supplemented with question and answer periods, discussion, or case studies. Traditional classroom is one of the least expensive. That's why a lot of companies using this method. It is also the least time-consuming ways to present information on a specific topic to many trainees. Distance learning. There are two learnings in here. First is teleconferencing, and the second one is webcasting. Teleconferencing refers to synchronous exchange of audio, video, and or text between two or more individuals or group at two or more locations. Webcasting, which involves face-to-face instruction provided online through live broadcast. The difference of these two is that webcasting is through online live broadcast, while teleconferencing is physical face-to-face. Audiovisual training is simply learning from watching videos or surfing on the internet. Learners may not be required to attend a class. The second method is hands-on methods. Hands-on methods require the trainee to be actively involved in learning. One of the examples of it is the on-the-job training or the OJT. OJT learned by observation, understanding, and imitation. Under the OJT, there are two classifications in OJT or on-job training. First is apprenticeship. It is a work-study training method with both on-the-job training and classroom training. Majority of apprenticeship programs are in the skilled trades such as lumber, carpenters, electrical workers, and bricklayers. The second classification is internship. It is a on-the-job learning sponsored by an educational institution or is a part of an academic program. In simulations, you can experience a real-life situation with trainees' decisions, resulting in outcomes that mirror what would happen to the trainee were on the job. You can experience a real-life situation using technology, and that's what we call virtual reality. Virtual reality is a computer-based technology that provides trainees with a three-dimensional learning experience. Avatars, computer depictions of humans that are being used as imaginary coaches, co-workers, and customers in simulations. Business games and case studies focuses on one interpersonal skill such as coaching or communicating ideas. E-learning is a delivery of training by computer through the internet on the web. Online learning, e-learning, and web-based training all included delivery of instruction using the internet or web. Massive open online courses. A large numbers of learners who have access to internet to discuss a specific topic, answer modules and quizzes, and show a video that might help the other regarding to their topic. Social media. Nowadays, a lot of us using social media. It is an online mobile technology used to create interactive communications, allowing the creation and exchange of user-generated content. Blended learning or combination of technology such as learning or social media with face-to-face instruction for delivery of learning content and instruction. Learning management system. Technology platform that automates the administration, development, and delivery of a company's training program. Team building. Help trainees share ideas and experience, build group identity, understand the dynamics of interpersonal relationships, and get to know their own strengths and weaknesses and those of their coworkers. The main goal of team building is unity. Experiential programs. Training programs in which trainees gain knowledge and theory, participate in behavioral simulations, analyze the activity, and connect the theory and activity with on-the-job situation. Example of it are the STEM students who dissecting a frog. Adventure learning, a type of experiential program, develops teamwork and leadership skills using structured outdoor activities. Team training coordinates the performance of individuals who work together to achieve a common goal. In cross-training, team members understand and practice each other's skills. Coordination training trains the team in how to share information and decisions. Team leader training refers to training the team manager or facilitator. Instead of training the employees, the manager or the facilitator will be the one who needs to train their leadership skills. Action learning. Teams or work groups get an actual business problem, work on solving it and commit to an action plan, and are accountable for carrying out the plan. After following the 5 stages, you must evaluate if your employees learned or enhanced their skills while in training. I'll show you a video about cost-benefit analysis.
Hello true friends, on today's video you'll get to know what is meant by cost-benefit analysis. So let's get to it. Whenever you're about to make a decision and you start weighting your choices against each other, and you start weighting the cost against the benefits, or the returns that you'd get from such a decision, that's what we call cost-benefit analysis, or CBA. We use cost-benefit analysis every day actually. You've just used it now. Think about it. You saw my video online and you thought to yourself for a second, is it really worth watching it or not? Is learning more about cost-benefit analysis worth the 3 minutes video? In this case, the cost was your time, which is 3 minutes to be spent watching it, and the benefit, or the return, was learning something new about the cost-benefit analysis. And evidently, since you are watching it now, your answer was yes, which means that you found that the benefit does outweigh the cost. Same goes for the business. When making any decisions, they go through the cost-benefit analysis to see if it's really worth making it or not. The cost can be money, time, or effort, and maybe even risk, a perceived risk. On the other hand, the benefit can be any good returns for the business. It might be more profits, or less costs at least.
Again, this is Miko Galendez of GRP2 News Report. In demand info on the go. Better informed today, learn than yesterday.
HRM TV. Search, explore, discover. We HR will fight together. GRP2 News Report.
Hi everyone, a pleasant day to all of you.
I am Aubrey Silagrimas and I'm gonna be your reporter for the Lesson 5 Topic 2. This topic is all about advice for choosing a training method. Before I formally start, let me show to you the specific subtopics. First, I will be discussing the steps in choosing a training method, then evaluating training programs, next, training outcomes, and lastly, return on investment. Given the large number of training methods available to you, this task may seem difficult. One way to choose a training method is to compare methods. Steps in choosing a training method. Let me ask you guys, what do you mean by training method? Maybe some of you would say it's all about the process that most companies do to enhance the capabilities of their employees. Well, primarily, training method refers to a way or technique for improving knowledge and skills of an employee for doing specific jobs prospectively. So, it is very important to know how to choose a training method that the company will be utilizing. The first step in choosing a training method is to identify the type of learning outcome that you want the training to influence. These outcomes include verbal information, intellectual skills, cognitive strategies, attitudes, motor skills, or some combination. Training methods may influence one or several learning outcomes. Second, comparing the presentation methods to the hands-on methods illustrate that most hands-on methods provide a better learning environment and transfer of training than do the presentation methods. When we say hands-on methods, these are training methods that require the trainee to be actively involved in learning. A final but important consideration is the training budget. If you have a limited budget for developing a new training methods, use structured on-the-job training. It is relatively inexpensive yet effective hands-on method. But if you have a larger budget, you might want to consider hands-on methods that facilitate transfer of training, such as simulators. Evaluating training programs. Training evaluation can provide useful information including the program's strengths and weaknesses, identifying which learners benefited most and least from participating, determining the program's financial benefits and costs, and allowing the comparison of the benefits and costs of different programs. Examining the outcomes of a program helps in evaluating its effectiveness. These outcomes should be related to the program objectives, which help the trainees understand the purpose of the program. Training outcome. Training outcomes can be categorized as cognitive outcomes, skill-based outcomes, affective outcomes, results, and return on investment. Cognitive outcomes. Conventional approaches to evaluating cognitive outcomes of training typically use a paper and pencil test that emphasize gains or differences in declarative knowledge. Yet, a key factor in differentiating expert and novice performance is the way individuals organize their knowledge. Accordingly, the acquisition of meaningful knowledge structures and methods of assessing structural knowledge are potentially important issues for designing and evaluating training programs. Examples are safety rules, electrical principles, steps in appraisal in interview. Skill-based outcomes. The behavior, abilities, and different human skills are being measured and evaluated in this part. Skill-based outcomes are being measured by observation, work sample, and ratings. Some of the examples are jigsaw use, listening skill, coaching skills, and airplane landings. Affective outcomes. Affective outcome is learning that is associated with feelings rather than knowledge or skills, such as learning to accept an idea or concept, or learning to appreciate a point of view. Affective objectives are designed to change an individual's attitude, choices, and relationship, and they are being measured by interviews, focus group discussion, and attitude surveys. Result. In this part, the thing that is being measured is the company payoff. What results occurred, that is, did the learner apply the new skills to the necessary tasks in an organization, and if so, what results were achieved? It is being measured by observation, data from information, or performance record. Return on investment. Return on investment is a performance measure used to evaluate the efficiency of an investment or compare the efficiency of several different investments. ROI tries to directly measure the amount of return on a particular investment relative to the investment cost. Return on investment. Return on investment. Return on investment or ROI refers to the estimated dollar return from each dollar invested in learning. The traditional ROI formula for training is the program benefits minus the training cost and then divided by the program cost. This indicates the dollar amount returned as a benefit for every dollar spent on a program. This also can be converted to a percentage by multiplying it by 100. To make an ROI analysis, follow these steps. First, identify outcomes. Second, place a value on the outcomes. Third, determine the change in performance after eliminating other potential influences on training results. Fourth, obtain an annual amount of benefits, also known as operational results from training, by comparing results after training to results before training. The fifth step is determining the training cost. All you need to do is to add direct cost plus indirect cost plus development cost plus overhead cost plus compensation for trainees. Calculate the total savings by subtracting the training cost from benefits, and the last step is calculate the ROI by dividing benefits by cost. The ROI gives an estimate of the dollar return expected from each dollar invested in training. ROI calculations of training aim to answer two broadly similar questions. First, are trainees gaining new knowledge and skills so that they can increase the efficiency or reduce costs in the workplace? Second, can we measure the cost of this training against the benefits to both the individuals and organization? ROI can be used to justify the expense of a training course, compare one training course to another, and help establish training within an organization. It is a simple way to tracking the effectiveness of training and measuring what value the learning helped create. This is the end of the discussion of Topic 2, Advice for Choosing a Training Method. This is Aubrey C. Lagrimas of HRM TV. In-demand info on the go, better informed today, learned than yesterday.
HRM TV. Search, explore, discover. We HR will fight together. GRP2 News Report. Good day, everyone. Today, we will be discussing about the topic 3 of lesson 5, which is the special training issues. To be globally competitive and to meet challenges of sustainability, globalization, and technology, companies must successfully deal with the special training issues. The special training issues contains the preparing of employees to work in different cultures abroad, managing workforce diversity, and socializing and orienting new employees. This topic contains two. First is the cross-cultural preparation, and the second is managing workforce diversity and inclusion. Companies today are challenged to expand globally. Because of the increase in global operations, employees often work outside their country of origin or work with employees with different cultures. An expatriate works in a country other than his or her country of origin. Cross-cultural preparation is the process of educating employees and their families who are given an assignment in a foreign country. There are several steps in cross-cultural preparations. To succeed overseas, expatriate employees in foreign assignment must be: number 1, competent in their area of expertise. Number 2, able to communicate verbally and non-verbally in the host country. Number 3, flexible, tolerant of ambiguity, and sensitive to cultural differences. Number 4. Motivated by succeed. Able to enjoy the challenges of working in other country and willing to learn about the host country's culture, language, and customs. And lastly, number 5 is supported by their families. The common ground to build this open and non-judgmental interaction will improve future communication and create a positive atmosphere as to which culture. There are 3 key stages of mutual understanding. They help us move from ignoring differences and benefiting from them. Number 1 is to recognize differences. Before interaction to different culture, ask yourself, what do you know about their culture? Analyze, and when you realize it, assist them to avoid misinterpretation. Number 2 is respecting differences. Respecting differences consists not only identifying and assessing another culture's key dimensions, but of adapting your own views and perspective of the world to give them a greater appreciation. Lastly is the reconciliation. Here's where you apply knowledge and culture empathy in order to bring differences to harmony and to pursue common goal or objective. Personality. Expatriates who were extroverted, agreeable, and conscientious were more likely want to stay with the assignment and perform well. The personality means being outgoing, cooperative and tolerant, dependable and achievement-oriented is a must. The key to a successful foreign assignment is a combination of training and career management for the employee and the family. The cross-cultural preparation involves 3 phases: the pre-departure, on-site, and repatriation. Before departure, employees need to receive language training and orientation to the new country's culture and customs. Training methods includes presentation techniques, e-learning, immersion, experiences, and actual experiences in the home country in culturally diverse communities. Hands-on and group building methods are most effective in assignments with a high level of cultural and job novelty that requires a good deal of interpersonal interaction with host nations. On-site involves continued orientation of the host country and its customs and cultures through formal programs or through a mentoring relationship. A major reason that employees refuse expatriate assignment is that they can't afford to lose their spouse's income or are concerned that their spouse's career could be derailed by being out of the workplace for a few years. Repatriation prepares expatriates for return to the company and home country from the foreign assignments. Expatriates and their families are likely to experience high levels of stress and anxiety when they return because of changes that occur since their departure. Next is we will be talking about managing workforce diversity and inclusion. Diversity. Diversity can be considered any dimension that differentiates a person from another. This includes education, nationality, background, physical and mental abilities, values, attitudes, and beliefs. Inclusion. Inclusion refers to creating an environment in which employees share a sense of belonging, mutual respect, and commitment from others so they can perform their best ability. This allows organizations to capitalize not only to the diversity of employees, but also to the diversity of customers, suppliers, and community partners. Diversity training. Diversity training refers to learning efforts that are designed to change employees' attitude about diversity and develop skills needed to work with a diverse workplace. The goals of diversity training use are 1. To eliminate values, stereotypes, and managerial practices that inhibit employees' personal development, and therefore number 2, to allow employees to contribute to organizational goals regardless of their race, sexual orientation, gender, familial status, religious orientation, or cultural background. Equal Employment Opportunity Laws or EEO laws helps to ensure that women and minorities are adequately represented in a company's labor force. That is, companies focus in ensuring equal access to jobs. However, diversity training and a focus on EEO laws are insufficient for a company that truly capitalizes on the value of a diverse workforce. They are one part of a larger emphasis on managing diversity and inclusion. The most common area addressed through diversity training is the pervasiveness of stereotypes, assumptions, and biases. Managing diversity and inclusion involves creating an environment that allows all employees to contribute to organizational goals and experience personal growth. This environment includes access to jobs as well as fair and positive treatment of all employees. The company must develop employees who are comfortable working with people from a wide variety of ethnic, racial, and religious backgrounds. Successful diversity programs involves more than just an effective training program. They require ongoing process of culture change that includes top management support as well as diversity policies and practices in the areas of recruitment and hiring, training and development, and administrative structure, such as conducting diversity surveys and evaluating managers' progress on diversity goals. They also focus on enhancing diversity and inclusion with suppliers, vendors, and in communities where the company conducted business. That is all for my report on topic 3. Thank you for listening. This is Eileen Ofantes of HRM TV. In-demand info on the go. Better informed today, learn than yesterday.
HRM TV. Search, explore, discover. We, HR, will fight together. GRP2 News Report.
So good day to each and everyone. I am Simon Joshua Panilio of HRM TV, and today I will be discussing onboarding and socialization. What is onboarding? Onboarding or socialization refers to the process of helping our new hires to adjust to social and performance aspects of their new job. So when we say onboarding, this is the process of helping our newly hired employees to socialize and to explore their new responsibility to the company. Of course, as an HR, it is a common and important task to us because the first person of the employee will talk to is us, the HRs. And it is normal to the newly hired employees to ask questions to the company, such as what is the company's background, what is the company's status, what are their traditions, and how will they operate, and so much more. It is important to clarify things to them, to what will they do in the company, to what are their role in the company, and what are your expectations to them as an HR. And it is important to motivate them to get the job done above our expectations and to build strong relationships to them. This is important to help employees adjust to their jobs by establishing relationships to increase satisfaction, clarifying goals and expectations to improve performance, and providing feedback, coaching, and follow-up activities to reduce turnover. As I said earlier, onboarding will be very helpful to the newly hired employees to adjust to their new environment. So we will now moving to the steps in onboarding. So there are 4 steps in onboarding: compliance, clarification, culture, and connection. First is compliance. Compliance is understanding the company's policies, rules, and regulations. So as an HR, we want that all of our employees knows about the company's policies, rules, and regulations to have a better working environment and to avoid losing people just because they are violating the company's policies, rules, and regulations. According to Negan, in the series of The Walking Dead, people are resource and good resource may lead the company into the better future. Next is clarification. Clarification is to understand the job and performance expectations. So from its root word clarify, clarification is a step where you, as an HR, will clarify things to them. This will include what is their role in the company, what is their job to be done in the company, and what are your expectations to them as an HR. So this is why orientation is so important to discuss things to your employee, such as what is their role in the company, what are their job to be done, and what is your expectations to them as an HR, as I said earlier. Because when you are not clarifying things to your employee, this may lead into unhealthy relationships towards your employee, not finishing the task that you given to them, not meeting your expectations to them, and this may lead into losing that employee. Next is culture. When we say culture, it is the company's history, values, norms, traditions, and missions. There are some company that is so famous because of their culture. One of them is Twitter. Twitter has its own culture by having rooftop meetings, yoga classes inside their company, and free vacations. So when we say culture, it is the company's image where your company can be unique of. One of example is, one applicant wants to apply to your company because your company is an eco-friendly and they are doing things in the environment such as tree planting. And cultural fit may lead into a healthier and much better working environment. Last is connection. Connection is to understand and develop working and interpersonal mission. So as an HR, we are responsible to assist employees to connect with its colleagues and to establish or joining the informal work networks that they needed to be successful. Effective onboarding thus includes understanding mundane tasks such as completing task forms and knowing how to complete timesheets and travel reimbursement forms. So what are the characteristics of effective onboarding? These are some of the characteristics of effective onboarding. Employees are encouraged to ask questions. Program includes information in both technical and social aspects of the job. The employee manager has some onboarding responsibility. The basing or embarrassing of the new employee is avoided. Employees learns about the company's culture, history, language, products, services, and customers. Program includes participation, active involvement, and formal and informal interaction between new hires and current employees. This is Simon Joshua Panilio of HRM TV. In-demand info on the go. Better informed today, learn than yesterday.